This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, the government stumps up millions for new drug treatments, but some are concerned it's not enough. It's the end of a road for a South Dunedin second-hand store, but staff who are affected say it's the right move. And architecture lovers are in for a real treat as a new exhibition opens at a local gallery. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A local hepatitis support network is commending the decision to fund life-saving drugs for New Zealanders. The government is giving more than $100 million to Pharmac to fund 6 new treatments for a range of illnesses. But there's concern locally that it doesn't go far enough.
Looking at the latest medical advances, hepatitis C sufferers now have a better chance of fighting the infection, with the government giving the go-ahead to fund 2 new drug treatments. It's a move that's been welcomed locally.
It is good that they've recognised that there is a need in our community for funding of newer medications for the treatment of Hep C.
The drugs Harvoni and Vicera pack will be funded by Pharmac, giving more than 50,000 Kiwis a better chance of beating the infection. Hepatitis C sufferers fall into 4 different genotypes and receive medication accordingly. Genotypes 2, 3 and 4 have to wait until they're sick to receive any treatment, but Beck says that could be 20 years away.
It actually will be good for some, I must concede that. However, there's a huge percentage of the population that won't fit the criteria for treatment. So at the moment, we don't really know, but I'm thinking it could be 40–50% of people that won't be able to access treatment through Pharmac funding.
The government is investing $124 million over 4 years into Pharmac as part of their 2016 budget. But cuts to social services funding last year saw the local Hep C centre lose their $80,000 of annual funding. Beck says sufferers need support centres like this, especially now, so they can guide them through the right treatment options.
What we've been doing is we've been doing this buyers club thing, or working with people to be able to access the buyers club. So there's more of a need for us now almost than there ever has been, even though Pharmac is recognising that Hep C has reached epidemic proportions in New Zealand.
Pharmac will also be funding melanoma drug Opdivo as well as Viduximab for nephrotic syndrome. The treatments will be available from the beginning of next month. Annabelle Dick, 39 Dunedin News.
Australasian infrastructure company Downer has been awarded a multi-million-dollar road maintenance contract. The 3-year contract is valued at $45 million and will maintain both the urban and rural road network for the entire Dunedin area. The contract also marks a major shift in the way work will be reported and assessed. The aim is for the council and the public to access detailed information online that measures the company's performance against contract specifications. The area covered is one of the largest in New Zealand, with about 1,000 kilometres of sealed roads and many more of unsealed or gravelled roads. A second-hand store in South Dunedin is shutting its doors after 18 years in business. The closure of the Salvation Army shop on King Edward Street means the loss of 2 paid staff members and a number of volunteers. But while it's a loss that's hit the community hard, staff say it was necessary.
18 years and no life left. A mainstay of the op shop world in South Dunedin closed this week, with the loss of 2 paid staff members' jobs, along with a handful of volunteers. Christchurch-based Salvation Army family store consultant Robin Sukigawa is in town to check the closure process is going smoothly. She says the decision to close the store was not easy, but came down to financial concerns.
It's a modest shop with a modest income, and the lease was due for renewal, so we felt it would be prudent to shut the shop rather than continue with a new lease.
Sukigawa says rates and other expenses were just too much for the shop to remain open, saddening both volunteers and paid staff.
Obviously they're very disappointed, particularly the ones that have been here for quite some time. This was like their home away from home, so we do feel for them and the paid staff that were here. Obviously it's a shock to a lot of people that the shop is closing.
She also cites a strong amount of competition in the second-hand shop market, particularly in the South Dunedin area.
Yes, it is very competitive. So we felt it was right at this time. There are other good second-hand shops in the area, so I'm sure that the shoppers that had been coming to this little shop will be able to frequent those ones as well.
Sukigawa says there are no immediate plans to open another shop in South Dunedin. However, they are not ruling out opening a new store at some stage. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
The University of Otago has been selected as one of 3 tertiary institutions to host a New Zealand-China Research Collaboration Centre. A total of $1.25 million in government funding has been made available for the centre over the next 5 years. The Otago site will focus primarily on enhancing research into non-communicable disease links between New Zealand and China. Professor Jim Mann will head the project. Some of Dunedin's more quirky houses have caught the eye of a Port Chalmers-based printmaker. The homes, designed by architect Basil Hooper, are the focus of his new exhibition at a local gallery, and it's a topic he says is intriguing residents.
Art imitating life. It is display time now, but for the past 7 months, Dunedin printmaker Manu Berry has been researching, sketching and printing houses around Dunedin that were designed by architect Basil Hooper. He says he stumbled upon Hooper's work while out walking.
One of those was the finding out that he had designed the pilots' houses out the end of Arawana, where I go walking very frequently. That's the most frequent walk, so they're very much a part of my world. And then a few other people had connections with them and mentioned the interest, and so I started looking around and it just kind of took legs from there.
Berry says the process began with him researching where Hooper designed homes around the city, which prompted him to go door to door to find out more.
And then I tried to get around every one in Dunedin and dropped a little note into the letterboxes and just thought I would leave it a little bit to fate to who responded to that. And I got a trickle at first and then a flow, and enough that I couldn't really keep up.
His multi-layered woodblock prints take time, patience and exacting skill to carve and print before they're hung in some of the finest houses around the country. Berry says one of his favourite parts of the process was the initial drawing stage.
From there I went and drew the houses, just spent a half a day or a day sketching at each place. And that was a lovely process. It was over this beautiful autumn that we've just had, and in these lovely little pockets of old suburbia surrounded by trees. And
the fruits of Manu Berry's 7-month labour of love will be on display beginning tomorrow at Mint Gallery. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we take a look at one aspect of new legislation that'll affect tenants and rental properties from tomorrow. And have they or haven't they? We'll find out if Silver Fern Farms has a new investor.
Generally in the winter time, one of my favourite sights is in the evening is looking out over the lights of the city and seeing the harbour, absolutely glassy calm. And I think that we've just got a fantastic environment here in Dunedin. It's a great place to live, and I'm very happy to be here.
place in the world.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Thinking of services for older people, think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Favourite part of winter? I like fashion in winter, I like dressing up in winter, I love having scarves, and I do the same thing for my house. So yeah, it's just that layering effect, isn't it, of how we work, really.
Welcome back. New building consent data shows construction rates have hit an all-time high of $17.8 billion nationwide. Statistics New Zealand says more than 28,000 homes were consented in the past 12 months, which is the highest number in 11 years. Most of that growth was in Auckland and nearby regions, while Canterbury saw a decrease. But while consents for new dwellings are at a higher level than last year, there has been little growth in recent months. And on that note, let's take a look at today's markets. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 93 points. It's now at 6,898. The Dow Jones is up 285 points. To the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is up very slightly against the pound, but we are down against the other currencies we follow. From tomorrow, all rental properties in New Zealand are required to be fitted with smoke alarms under new government legislation. It's a move that's being welcomed by the New Zealand Fire Service, and East Otago Area Fire Commander Lawrence Voigt joins us now to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening.
Is this new requirement for rental properties something that the Fire Service has been pushing for some time?
Oh, the Fire Service has been advocating for every property in New Zealand, residential property in New Zealand, to have working smoke alarms in them, and this simply gives some compulsion towards landlords, particularly in rental properties, to have them.
And whose job is it going to be to install the smoke alarm in a rental property from tomorrow?
Well, it's the responsibility of the landlord to ensure that there is a working smoke alarm in the building.
And whose responsibility will it be to ensure that it's got a battery in it?
It's the landlord's responsibility to ensure that it's a working smoke alarm for every new tenancy. From there, it's the responsibility of the tenants to ensure that the batteries are replaced if required.
Which is different to what the law currently is as at today. It was always the landlord's responsibility to make sure the battery was in there.
Well, to be quite honest with you, there really wasn't a law relating to it. It was a bit of to and froing. This simply clarifies the issue.
How much of a difference can a smoke alarm make in an emergency?
A huge difference. See, when you're asleep, your nose doesn't work. Okay, so basically what a smoke alarm does is becomes the nose that's working when yours isn't. So when you're asleep at night, and even in the really early stages of a fire, the products of combustion going past the sensors on the smoke alarm activate it, and at that stage the residents are able to get outside to a place of safety and in the really early stages and call the local fire brigade and we'll come and deal with the issue.
What kind of smoke alarm does the fire service recommend?
We recommend long life photoelectric smoke alarms for all properties. Yeah.
What sort of length is the long life?
Between 6 and 10 years, we believe. I guess if they're being activated all the time, as with most things with a battery, and they'll wear down a bit sooner. But the thing is that they last significantly longer than the current smoke alarms with just ordinary batteries that people are putting in them.
How has this winter been so far in terms of fire-related incidents?
Well, so far it's been very mild for us, and so we haven't had a number of structure fires. But don't worry, that's probably coming. Apparently, I'm told as the days get longer, the weather gets stronger, so we're probably in for some bad weather yet.
Oh,
and with that in mind, we just want to make sure that people are prepared for that. Yeah.
How many smoke alarms should be in a standard house? And I guess a standard house is 3 bedrooms?
Well, it varies from house to house. Basically, the rule of thumb is that we recommend that people have a working smoke alarm in all living areas, hallways, and in every bedroom in a house. Also, that applies on every level. Now, it's a little bit different if you live in a high-rise building, because on a high-rise building there should be a working smoke alarm on every level, or rather not only high-rise but multi-storey. There should be a working smoke alarm on every level, and also there should be one within 3 metres of every bedroom.
Is the risk of fire in homes any different in summer than it is in winter?
Well, statistics would show that in winter there's a higher incidence. People are spending more time inside. People get out the electric blankets and the heaters and start using their fireplaces again. We can also have issues around the disposal of ashes if that's not done appropriately. Also, we have people sometimes putting combustibles too close to heaters. And significantly more. That's usually when we're getting our structure fires.
What other advice have you got for our viewers?
Other advice we'd have for our viewers that they have working smoke alarms in their houses, that they have an escape plan that they've worked out with their families or with the other occupants of the house, and so that everybody gets out of the house to a place of safety where they can be accounted for, that they know to call the fire service, also that they observe basic rules like the heater meter rule that I've just mentioned before, as far as having their combustibles away from a heater, have their electric blankets checked. If they're in any doubt about what procedures to follow, we've got pamphlets that they can get from their local fire station.
East Otago Area Fire Commander Lawrence Voigt, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, a pleasure.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, has a large locally based company sold 50% of its share to a Chinese company, and hundreds of school students ditched the classroom for the sports field.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order Emu oil today.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
I understand now how economics can affect global warming.
And I found out how grass growth in New Zealand affects Fashion Week in Milan.
I can even tell you how smartphone technology affects the survival of mountain gorillas. Sorry.
Because at the Otago Business School, it's not just about the world of business, it's how business affects the world.
I'm Kim. Michaela.
David. And this is our place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
We're a 25 Moray place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
As the nights draw in and it gets colder, people have always turned towards stories to keep them entertained in the winter. They illuminate the darkness, they entertain you, and they tickle your imagination. Whether you're reading, horrific crime novels, thrilling fantasy novels, mind-bending sci-fi, perhaps you're into the latest literary sensations, or illuminating tales of modern life. Whatever you like, we've got it here.
Welcome back. Contributions from both local and international supporters have helped secure the purchase of the Hyde railway station. The Otago Central Rail Trail Trust confirmed the purchase yesterday after a successful fundraising campaign. The funding ensures the 122-year-old heritage station and its rolling stock remain on site for renovations. Trust Chair Kate Wilson says the focus will now shift to working with the community to decide the best way to use the site. It remains unclear whether the proposed merger between Silverfern Farms and a Chinese investor is done. Silverfern Farms had till the end of June to satisfy conditions of the sale with China's Shanghai Mailing Aquarius. The Dunedin-based company insists the deal hasn't been derailed, but is facing criticism from New Zealand First leader Winston Peters. He believes Silverfern's directors haven't acted in the best interests of the company, particularly by not seeking shareholder approval for a major transaction. Those complaints have been rejected by the company's office. Shanghai Mailing is bidding for 50% of the meat co-op for a price of $261 million. More than 600 of the city's high school students got out of the classroom and onto the sports field today for the annual co-ed sports tournament. But it wasn't all about having fun, with competitors' eyes squarely on the first place trophy up for grabs.
School kids were bouncing around the Dunedin sport field today in the city's annual co-ed sports tournament. It's a highly anticipated event each year, and organisers say those taking part love it.
So it's really nice to give co-ed something that's specific for them and something that they can look forward to themselves. And I mean, everyone loves to win a trophy, and it's a pretty good sized trophy for.
A handful of referees jumped at the chance to help out with the day-long event, keen to support our future sporting stars.
Because I just love my sport, I love all this battle on Otago and everything, and when it comes to helping out basketball Otago, I'm always there, 24/7.
More than 600 teenagers are taking part in the 6 sports on offer, as well as a have-a-go sport, which this year is table tennis. It's not all fun and games though, with a serious trophy on the line that all schools are battling for.
You know, they're keen to look at the draw and seeing who they're going to play and trying to pretend who they can match off in the final. So definitely there is some rivalry and it's really great to see.
While some of those taking part are just happy to have the day off school, others say the event is a great way to try out new sports.
Because it brings, you know, me and my mates together. We're just playing basketball.
You get a day off school, that's useful. It's a good experience, I guess. You meet new people and stuff, and yeah, I enjoy that.
Good to get out and get some fitness going and get the team going together.
While Kavanagh College has won the past 4 competitions, they'll be in for a battle this year, with plenty of other competitors also with their eyes on the prize. Henry McMullen, 39, Dunedin News.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. The government's decision to fund 2 new hepatitis C treatments through Pharmac is being welcomed by a local support agency. A South Dunedin charity store has closed its doors after 18 years in business, citing too much competition in the second-hand sector. And a series of well-known architectural designs are providing the inspiration for a new print-based exhibition by a Dunedin artist. Well, it's time now to find out what's going to be inside the pages of Friday's Otago Daily Times, and Craig Page joins us. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, the fallout from last year's South Dunedin floods continues, of course, with Fulton Hogan being dumped from its $39 million roading contract just today. Downer has been awarded the new contract over 3 years. A lot of criticism over the maintenance of the mud tanks in particular in South Dunedin. And that was a factor in the extent of the flooding. So new 3-year contract for Downer. Fulton Hogan is very disappointed about it. It's going to have to shed 12 staff, but there is some hope some of those staff may get picked up by Downer with the new contract. Also closer watchdog on the new contract. You'll be able to view online what work's coming up in terms of road maintenance and what's been done. So public will have more of an input there as well. Report out today about warmer weather so far this year, and it's had an unfortunate consequence in Dunedin with an explosion in rat numbers in Dunedin. We've spoken to a pest destruction company which reports a 50% increase on the number of call-outs it's had to homes compared to this winter last year. Getting into ceilings, getting under floorboards and really causing a bit of problems out there. Warmer weather, they're breeding longer, and when we get a brief cold snap, they head indoors and cause problems. So, and of course Friday is our sport racing lift out, focus from the All Blacks heading back to the Highlanders now. 3 weeks out from Super Rugby playoffs, and the Highlanders are in a final push to try and make those playoffs. So
that's all on tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is our city view. It's taken a pegs in a Moray Place window. It's probably an art installation. At 3 o'clock this afternoon around the city, 8 degrees for both the central city and the gardens and 9 for the Taieri. To the situation, and the cold southerly flow that's been with us today is dying out. It will be replaced by a ridge of high pressure from tomorrow. And that means a fine day for Invercargill, Gore, Tianau and Alexandra, and it also means fine weather for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel. And Dunedin tonight remaining fine with a low of -2. Tomorrow sunny with light winds, frosts in sheltered areas and a high of 10. And on Saturday high cloud increasing with northerlies, a high of 12. To the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information, low tide tomorrow morning is at 7:15 and fishing conditions are expected to be at their best tomorrow morning at 9:20. That's local news for Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.